Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've got a fun video for you today. The disc throwdowns have returned to the channel. It's been a while, but these are some of the most fun videos for me to make as I get a chance to compare and contrast different discs to each other, often within the same brand, but in many cases from different brands. And so today we've got a Fairway disc throwdown where we've got three different Fairway drivers in the 6 to 7 speed category. And these are some of the most fun drivers to throw for me because I can get quite a lot of distance with not so much effort. So anyways, these are the Fairway drivers from Innova, MVP, Axiom Discs is MVP brand, and Discraft. We have the Innova Cheetah in Star plastic. We have the Axiom Crave in Plasma plastic. Just wanted to verify. I was 99% sure that was the case. Had to remember. And the Cicada in Z plastic. This is from Discraft. And so we've shown up here at Spring Baptist Church in Spring, Texas. It's a fun little 9-hole course, and I think it's perfect to showcase the range of distances that you might throw off the tee for maybe a novice or recreational level disc golfer. So let's go and have some fun. Okay, we've arrived at hole one. I'm throwing directly into a strong headwind. It's about 10 miles an hour, maybe a little bit more. The basket is straight that way. I'm gonna throw my first shots of the day, starting with the Cheetah. I turned that one over. Now let's try the Crave. There we go, got a little more on that one. The Crave is noticeably more stable than the Cheetah, but that may be the most stable version of the Crave in that plastic. Now the Cicada in Z plastic. There we go. That I would say is somewhere in between the two, but those are my first throws of the day. Let's see how it plays out. Okay, so the Cicada made it a touch closer than the Crave. The first throw I messed up with the Cheetah, so no fault of that disc, but these two a little bit more in line with what I had intended. Now I'm just going to take this putter and throw it towards the basket. I think I'm like 80 feet out, maybe 90. Oh yeah, that's a putt. Yeah, it's bullseye. So yeah, this is a very good upshot for me. I'm very happy with it. Heck yeah. So let me tell you a bit about these three discs. The Cheetah has been around for about 3 decades. Innova made this in, I think, 1995. I'll just put up the dates on the screen if I happen to forget them. But this is in Star plastic. I bought this from the Pro Shop, the Innova Pro Shop online. And this is a factory second. I just wiped the stamp. But I knew I had to get a Star Cheetah years ago because I was using my Leopard a lot. And I wanted something a touch more stable. And that's where this Cheetah has come in. So this has become one of my favorite 6-speed drivers. The Axiom Crave here, this is in the plasma plastic. This is probably the most popular fairway driver that MVP has in their lineup between the MVP, Axiom, and Streamline brands. It's certainly the one that I knew the most about. And this has been around for a little more than a decade, I think. And this has gained a lot of popularity, and there's been a lot of different pros that have had this as their series disc. And this one is significantly flatter than, say, the Cheetah, and the Cicada is even more domey than both. And this is a relatively new disc that came out in the last year by Discraft. And this is in their Z plastic, one of the most popular plastic types. And it's these are all in the premium plastic types that I wanted. But I knew I had to get a video in with all three of these to compare and contrast them. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw the Cheetah off the tee. Okay, since we're going through a gap, I'm going to do standstill. I just want to try to get this through. A touch low. I may have to make that the last throw off the tee on the next one just so that I can dial in and throw that properly. Next up, I'm going to throw the Cicada. I think it's about the stability of the Cheetah. It might be a touch less stable. We're about to find out. I released it a touch late, but man, did I get some good distance off that. I'm putting. Last but not least, the Crave. This is probably a touch more stable than either from my recollection of throwing it previously. Yeah, just a touch more stable. Still a great flight out of that one. Okay, so I'm just outside the circle, and yet again, I got a little bit more distance with the Cicada. Close. Whoop. Okay, we've made it to hole 3. This has always been one of the most challenging holes for me because I tend to hit one of the trees or over there. All I want to do is get a straight shot as far as I can. Let's see if I can do it with the Crave. I put it on a touch of hyzer, but what can you do? All right, now let's try the Cicada. Could have been a touch higher with that one. All right, now let's try the Star Cheetah. Just want to get as far as I can. That's the one. Let's go. The thing to remember about these videos is I'm a rec level player. A disc like this is essentially my type of fairway driver. So if you don't see perfect, cultivated shots from me, I'm sorry. But this is essentially, I'm the audience that I'm filming for, basically. So if you're a novice in rec level, this is for you. Not going to make every putt either. Easy par when you have 3 attempts. Okay, we've made it to the next hole. I've had to move up a few feet because the camera was in the light and it keeps overheating. Just so you know, my GoPro keeps overheating. Now I'm resorting to my iPhone, seeing how that works out. I've got 2 different mics. The Rode mic is a backup mic for the mic that I'm using with the iPhone. So anyways, this Cheetah, I bought this like 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago from the Innova Pro Shop. Saw they came out, bought it from the factory second section, wiped the stamp when I got it in, and I've used this for a couple years. Then let my friend Sean borrow it for a year or 2, and he gave it back to me a few months ago so I could do videos like this. Gonna go for that basket. Love it. All right, pin high. Okay, next up is this Crave. I bought this 1 or 2 years ago. It's been in every one of my MVP/Axiom challenges, and I think this is a great training fairway driver because it's so flat, and I think it's great for learners, trainees, etc., to learn how to do forehand with it. Touch more stable. Again, that's the most stable version of the Crave. I will do my best as a rec level thrower of the disc to try to make corrections. That said, this Cicada I bought a couple weeks ago from H-Town Disc Golf because I had to get it. So there we go. That's a lot more what I wanted to do with the Crave. I mean, what can I say? I'm falling in love with this Cicada. Okay, for hole 3, normally the tee pad is over there, but I pulled this back about 25 feet to about the 200-foot mark from that basket. And there's quite a fierce left to right headwind, so I'm gonna have to put this on a touch of hyzer. See how it flipped up a bit? I had a little bit of wobble too that promoted that. Okay, let's see if I can make the adjustment with the Cheetah. Under the basket, that's crazy. This Crave is so aerodynamic that I think as long as I keep it relatively flat, it will not be affected by the wind as much. I put a touch of hyzer on it. That's also a close putt. Well, I did manage to dial things in with the Cheetah, so that's good. Okay, to keep the camera in the shade, I've created an arbitrary tee pad position approximately 320 feet from the basket. This is going to be the longest hole we play so far, and really I'm most interested in the drives. There's now a right to left tailwind because we've changed our orientation from the last hole, and I'm just going to try to see what I can do with this Cicada. That is a distance line as near as I can do it. Heck yeah. I'm going to try the same thing with this Crave, and let's just see what happens. I put it up a touch too high, but it got a fair amount of distance. Last but not least, let's see what I can do with this Cheetah. That's the flight I was looking for. Okay. Okay, the Crave and the Cicada were both the same distance away from the basket. So I'm just going with this one because it's closer. I'm about 87 feet out per bush now. Well, what can you say? It's rec level disc golf. Can't really expect to get them all, but I am happy with the throws that I'm getting off the tee. Okay, I've placed the camera under the shade of another tree. I'm making another arbitrary tee pad location, approximately 230 feet away from the basket. I'm going to see how close I can get to this with the Crave. Pretty close, I guess. Just under the basket or past it. Okay, now let's look at what is the complete opposite of that disc, probably the domiest of the three fairway drivers. Close to the basket too. Okay, last but not least, but debatably the slowest, and I tend to think I don't get quite as much distance with this as that, but this is probably more of the faster mid-range. Definitely a control fairway driver. Those are three. I guess I'm dialing it in, guys. Okay, I'm gonna have to eat some crow here. They all went long of the basket. There's a Cicada, a Crave, and for the slowest disc, I managed to get it probably about 260. Man, the Cicada over there, Crave over here. I picked up the Cheetah, but it was over there. I'm very happy with this. Okay, I've adjusted the existing hole to pull the tee pad back 215 feet from that basket. And I'm just gonna throw this Cheetah that way. Okay, now I'm gonna make an adjustment and throw Crave a touch higher. Love it under the basket. Last but not least, the Cicada. I'm gonna try to get it in between those two. But man, this is now more of a headwind, somewhat left to right cross. There we go. Yeah, I'll put it up a little bit higher, making use of its dome. Oh yeah, got a putt. Alrighty, I guess that means I'm a member of the Trailer Parked Boys. Makes a good putter too. Likewise. Whew, okay, good round everyone. Glad we can make it here. I've created another custom hole using 9's basket. I'm exactly 250 feet away per bush now. Let's see how I can throw this Crave. Pretty good, I guess. Pin high, maybe a little bit more. Now let's try the slowest of the three discs. Well, pin high, just short. Wah. Okay, the good news is I'm finishing this off before it gets too hot, and the wind is going to pick up steadily throughout the day, so I got it without too much wind. So yeah, let's see if I can make a putt. Looks like I can. All right, so what do I have to say about these three discs? Let me go in order of speed, since this is the true 6-speed of these discs. I think the Cheetah is a great middle of the road option for someone that wants to step up from a mid-range, but they went ahead towards, the faster fairway drivers. I think this is a good way for people to get, new players, novices, even some rec level players. I think something like this could definitely go in their bag. I found this to be really useful here. I think that it is a little bit flat, but because it doesn't have a lot of speed, it doesn't skip around a lot, and it's easy to control. I'd say this is probably the most controllable of the three that I've thrown. Next up, the 6.5 speed driver, the Crave. This one in particular is probably the most stable of all of them. So this one, I think, is something, if you get this particular plastic, you might want to get it for its stability, and then you might want to get a less stable version, say a Fission Crave, just so you have a couple options with the same mold. But yeah, I found that of these three, this was certainly the most stable. I think actually the fastest in reality, just due to the profile. It's not very tall in terms of the disc, and it's very aerodynamic. So I think in theory, if I had a distance contest, I could probably get a little bit farther with this, notwithstanding the use of any glide, which I'm now going to come to this Discraft Cicada. This is certainly the glidiest of these three, and I think in a distance contest where you're using glide to have a certain shape, to have it, you know, more lift and then more loft so it goes farther. This, I think, would be a really good candidate, whereas something like this would be a great wind fighter. You could cut through the wind, provided that it's not too much. This here would be great for tailwinds to get that extra distance, and I think that this one surprised me. I'm going to be bagging this in the future. I currently bag the Cheetah, but I'll be definitely throwing this a lot more often myself. And I think these are good discs. The reason why I personally recommend 6 and 7 speed discs to beginners and novices, I think you can get the most distance with your most effort with these. And between these three options of least glide, middle of the range glide, and the most glide, slowest, debatably, you know, about the same speed, you got different options to choose from. So I highly recommend all these. If you have a brand preference, definitely get the one that suits your brand loyalties the most. And that's going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.